Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sunday Coffee. What's going on, everybody? Hi. We made it. We're here. It's awesome. What's up, everyone? Oh, good Lord. So many comments today. A lot of comments on the live streams this week. Usually there's like 2, maybe 3. Nah. People commented this week. So a lot of comments there. Got a lot of comments on the video that I posted, which was a clip from last week. Some people didn't get it. Most people did. Some people wanted to say some stuff that's funny, and I went out and gathered a bunch of information because that conversation was... Anyway, it's going to be a fun day reading all of the stuff that you guys have sent over the course of the last week. I hope you guys are all doing well. It's going to be a good day. And before we get into it, what's going on over on the Mean Green website? We got Chatsu. What's up? We got Garham over there as well. It's good to see you. Also, we got Timo Burnham. What up, man? Tom Highland. It's good to see you, man. Nikolai Paulwell. Devil's Air. It's good to see you, dude. Crimson Law. What up, man? Gorilla Mar. What up? Garham. Double dipping. Aragmar Virillion. I hope he is getting better today. Went and says he's donated some blood yesterday. So doing that for a good cause. Evely Music. What's going on, dude? We got Wyatt Hilbert as well. It's good to see you. Maji Chan. Hello. How? I hope that you get to feeling better today. Oh, that stuff sucks. Tim Allen, it's good to see you as well. Lee Yu, how's it going? And I believe that I have... oh, no, Piano Music. Top Lob. Hey, what's going on? You're hyped for the stream. Oh, God. Well, temper thine expectations. I have not been live long enough to say anything stupid yet. Hot coffee is hot. I actually almost dropped that on my keyboard. That would have been bad. Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been, I mean, great for a live stream, right? Just coffee everywhere, all over the crotch, great content for the internet. Not so great content for my self-esteem, but who needs self-esteem? What's going on, everybody? Oh, hey, by the way, I cannot forget to do this. Because I can't forget to do this. So, guys, not only do I have new merchandise, which I will show off in a second, but I also have a new link where you guys can go. There's a direct donation link in there for those of you who like to send in super chats and or pester me and or try to pay me to drink White Claw. So anyway, you can find all of those links there. So if you guys are interested in doing any of that, because we are on an unmonetized channel now with all the live streams. However, it's doing all right, though. It's a little less scary. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. And then that new merch that I was talking about, I really want to show this off because I am just absolutely freaking excited about it. And I'd really love to get this out there. This is the I Support Indie Creators. Books, comics, movies, games. I need to add like music and like YouTubers and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, this right here, man, this is the first iteration of this shirt, and I want to be able to get our love of indie creators and all that out into the wider known world. So you guys should really go buy this shirt. If this shirt is a banger, it's a success, I will continue it. I will make more. We've also got the coffee mugs here as well, if that's more your speed. And then hoodies for when it gets colder out, and some long sleeve shirts for those who are a little bit more conscious about being in the sun. So anyway, I want to shout all that out, and I really would love if you guys would go do that because it's going to be awesome. Would be an immediate swearing on Sunday Violet. It would. Yeah. Oh, man. How's everybody doing this week, man? It's going to be all... immediate swearing situation. Heavily. Yeah, no, if I drop my coffee on myself, I would... YouTube would probably nuke the channel. I'd get my first strike ever. It would be not a good day, as the kids do say. So... Oh, man, thank you guys so much for joining me. Well, what do you say we get into it? Wait, man, we got a lot of comments to get through, so we'll start where we always start, which is last week's Sunday Coffee. Then we will work our way through all of the live streams, and then we will go into the video. How does that sound as a plan, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Over here on Sunday Coffee, the first comment was from Creative Welshman. He says, first to comment in the name of democracy. And to say, my UK brethren, never vote for Labour because they're a bunch of communists. I have heard that from some UK people that I follow. That's interesting. The political discourse over there. It's so funny because I love the back and forth between Americans and like Europeans. And they're all just like, well, at least our government's not as bad. And like, I listen to both. I'm like, but we're both complaining about the same thing. So I'm pretty sure our governments are like just as bad as each other. But that's a little too heavy to get into on a Sunday already. Oh, man. Are we still on the topic of kids not having content? Not yet. Haven't even got there yet. Haven't even got there. Bosco Scenario, what's going on, man? It's good to see you. No, Andrew Rowland, we have not got there yet at all. So, all right. Gorilla Mars says ribs turned out great. Another win for the Easy Bake. Yeah, Gorilla Mar last week was saying that he's got he has a pellet smoker, so he could just kind of like set the food in there and then just walk away from it, kind of like an Easy Bake Oven. And it's a smoker. So yeah, that's I like to call them the man ovens because, you know, that's what they are. But yeah, no, dude, I'm good. Yeah, smoked ribs. There's a really, really good chance. There's a really, really good chance. I think that I'm going to do some lamb leg next week, maybe do some ribs next week. Because we've got a 3-day weekend because of Memorial Day. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Andrew Rowland, I have a lot to say on this topic, but I don't have time to write a comment on a video about it. Gotcha. No, I get you. A lot of people, like I said, I think you were one of the guys that kind of came in and you didn't really know what I was saying in the video. A lot of people pretty much got the gist of it. So, I'm happy with that most people kind of caught the gist. There were a couple people that, you know, I said things in a way that just didn't compute, but yeah, I can't, I'm not perfect. I can't say the things in a way that everybody understands. That would be like completely antithetical to my personality. And I can't do that. Made ribs in a crock pot. Don't have room in the trailer park for a smoker or grill. Crock pot ribs can be really good too. If you do them right, crock pot ribs can be baller. They can be really, really freaking good. Creative Welshman says, here's an idea for you, Royce, regarding the goats. Have an ensemble of different goats for merch purposes, for example. Ooh. Hector, the OG goat, maybe. Barry, the meme goat. Democracy, the Helldiver goat. That would be hilarious. And then Gummy Goat, the amazing digital circus goat. Gummy Goat would be interesting. Ooh, yeah, that's not bad. I like the Helldiver goat. I like the Helldiver goat and the Gummy Goat. Both of those are like, I really do. I don't actually remember who made the goat thing. I don't remember who generated it. Somebody was like, hey, Royce, here's the drink with crazy goat. And they sent it to me. And I have no idea who made it. So if you made the goat, please tell me. Because I don't remember. It was months ago and I forgot about it. And I was clearing out screenshots and a bunch of stuff on my phone. And I came past that and I was like, why have I not done anything with this? Wait, why are you leaving? See, that's why I don't say your name, Whimsyland. Chatsu says, Royce on CSW, which is Comic Shop Wednesday. I really do hope his writing is good. Me stroking my chin. Excerpt from In the House of Cranes. Ray couldn't pinpoint the moment she fell asleep. The last hour or so had been mostly a blur. What she did remember was her dream. She was alone in a black void. She had been here before. Every night she wandered the endless expanse, always feeling like unseen eyes were watching. Sometimes voices called to her so faintly that she could make them out. Sometimes she'd see things. Once she saw a friendly-looking man with blue skin who smiled and waved to her as she walked by. Another time, she stumbled across a sad woman whose coughs faintly echoed all around. Lately, she hated dreaming. Ever since the night Thomas Crane died, Ray's had the same dream. She was in the void as usual, only this time there was a mirror in front of her attached to a non-existent wall. As she got closer, her reflection slowly changed while her outfit remained a black Victorian dress. Her hair gradually turned the same color, as if to contrast this, her skin would lose all the color it had. When she was close enough to touch the glass, her left eye would start to hurt. She'd cover it with her hand, but her reflection blankly stared at her. When the pain subsided enough for her to get a better look, the woman on the other side would violently burst through the glass and tightly grab her neck with both hands. Everything would go numb, her vision would blur, then she'd slowly wake. This time, the nightmare ended abruptly. The shattering of glass sounded real. Too real. That is some creepy stuff. That's wow. No. Absolutely not. Good job, Chatsu. Wow. Very good job. Man, I got goosebumps from reading that. That was awesome. Oh, man. What did you guys think? An excerpt from Chatsu's books that he's working on. He says, I wrote books in the comments this week. Oh, God, I've got to read a lot of those. A little bird told me Ragnar Varillion is working on an amazing new novel. Yes, he is. Ragnar Varillion is absolutely working on that. He is also the fantastic writer of Star Shatter, which is a fantastic sci-fi series that a lot of people love. All right. Let's get over here to Comic Shop Wednesday. This is the show where we cover a bunch of indie projects and vote on our top 4 every week. And it is absolutely fantastic. You know the one thing that I didn't do? I need to actually open up over here. There we go. All right. Oh, hey! It looks like Crimson Law sent in $10 through the direct donation link. Man, thank you so much. He says, I know how much you love the Beatles and White Claw. So this is so that you can enjoy both. I hate all of you so much right now. You guys are just going to send in enough money to make me drink enough White Claw that I eventually just get used to it. And I don't like this. I really am not a fan of your tactics, chat. I hate White Claw so much. I hate it so much. It's so gross. It's not good. It's not good. It's not. Oh, it's gross. Hey, coffee. Let's drink something good. Coffee. Hello. Oh. I have not actually. I know Maji Chan's a big fan of the Transformers comics and stuff like that, so you should check it out. I am a hardcore troll. I love to harass people. Yeah, I'm aware. Trust me. I get it. All right, over here on Comic Shop Wednesday. Mrs. R.H. Snow says, I love the new I Support Indie Creators t-shirt. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm really, really hoping to push that out to everybody. I really hope people go. You guys can find that link through the merch link in the link that's in the pinned comment. Go over there. Check out the new I Support Indie Creators t-shirt. I would love to get that out into the world and have people wear it and just hopefully it inspires people to have those conversations. So I love it. Creative Welshman says, I support goat pendant creators. Who do you support? Oh, God. You guys are trying to throw the word goat in everything that you can. And sometimes it works, and other times. Gorilla Mar, Roy's sounding like a high school girl again. I don't think Mark likes me. LOL, you just missed the hair flip. I'll say, what the hell? Oh. Oh, God. Oh, that's funny. I forget things that I say. I don't know. I'm weird like that. Most of the time, I'm like, my wife gets so mad because I am so not serious at the house. Because like at my day job, I'm serious all the time because it's my day job. I have to be. And when I come home, I'm just completely not serious at almost anything. Like it actually causes a lot of stress in her life. She's like, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, and I'm like, okay, switch gears. It's bad. So I say everything is like a joke. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. James Esparza, too bad you don't got an I am an indie creator t-shirt. I could put that out. I obviously wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be able to wear that though because I mean, I guess I create YouTube stuff, but I would question putting on like online video as like an indie creator because although yes, the definition does kind of fit. It's all the kind of like, I don't know, but I could do an I am an indie creator t-shirt. Let me know down below. What do you guys think? I am an indie creator t-shirt. Should we try to put that one out as well? That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. Chatsu says, since I'm assuming you haven't seen the trailer yet, I'll go through a rundown of what I did. I don't have access to, nor can I afford a lavalier mic, so I used my original trailer concept of having a radio DJ and created a fictional radio program called Trilateral Transistor. The host is, of course, Ratsu. I hammed it up as much as I could, although my walls are thin, so I can't be too loud. It still turned out great, and I felt like at least some of my jokes landed. There are some bits that are intentionally corny. I tried to keep it brief and informative, trying to make the viewer chuckle, while also setting up the plot and mysteries of the book itself. I am particularly proud of how the tagline turned out. Danger waits and adventure calls within the town of Midnight Falls. Also, the meme was my attempt to draw Ratsu face onto Judge Dredd. Purple smiling face equals Ratsu. White blank face equals Chatsu. I didn't know that. You have a lot of lore that I don't know. Piano music. Royce, I haven't seen your streams for a while. Did you finally get the goat? No. No piano music. We have not gotten the goat. Things keep getting in the way of this. So, most of those things being bills. You know how it be. It's like, oh, I want this thing, and then a bill shows up in the mail, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm not getting that thing. I think everybody knows that feeling. They're just like, oh, well, maybe later. Oh man. Redoubt Production says, that shirt design needs more broken shelf. Oh, fuck. Then it would be the accurate depiction of indie creators' support. My wife came up with that. I mean, I don't know if we could break the shelf on that one. Probably could. It'd take a lot of editing work on my part to do it, though. That's funny. That's really funny. Oh, man. Oh, man. Instapot rice cooking tip. Turn off the keep warm button to avoid overcooking the rice. Well, yeah. Duh. Oh, man. All right. Let's go over here. That's it. Okay. Oh, God. That's right. I did this one. The Ladies' Night stream featuring the Saska sisters, Carol Brown, and my wife. Which you guys turned out for. Like, you guys were down for that stream. Like, a lot. Like, I can't believe the amount of watch time that stream had. That was nuts. So, which the Ladies' Night streams may be happening more frequently on the channel, and as in more frequently, like stay tuned. Yeah, that was, and then everybody was sending money for me to drink freaking White Claw. It was literally horrible. It was bad. And then I had to drink the White Claws, and I didn't want to drink the White Claws, and I did, and it was not fun. Oh, it's such a terrible drink. I don't know why they would invent that. I have no idea. Somebody is in my room now. I heard the squeaky door. Did you guys hear the squeaky door? Anyway, probably going to the freezers or something. All right, let's go to... Who is there? I don't even know what's going on. Okay. It's fine. Or is that just my chair? No. I gotta see who's at the door. I think it's one of my kids trying to screw with me. Probably that one. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get...
She's like, pops around the corner. I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I was trying to be quiet. I was like, well, you're not being quiet. When I ask who's there, like, I thought you were just sitting there just screwing with the door, trying to mess with me.
Not my fault, thanks, the squeaking door.
Blame the freaking door. Close the door. Shush.
Damn. Love you.
I love you too. Oh, good times. Oh, God. Oh, man. All right. I don't use oil. I use white lithium. I use white lithium grease. White lithium grease has a tendency to attract less dirt over time, and it doesn't rust. Oil runs away. You got to use white lithium grease. And it got moved, and I don't know where it is. I remember where I put it, but it's not there anymore. Don't know why. Anyway, let's go over here. Creative Welshman says, okay, how many White Claws did he down to get through this? Hey, I drank 2. No, I drank like 1.5 on the stream. It was horrible. It was horrible. Hey, Royce, I remember when I played Devil May Cry, it was on a demo disc my older brother had, which was packed in with Resident Evil, Code Veronica, X, on PS2. I played the heck out of it, out of that demo, until I got the game proper. As for how I would rank the games in terms of gameplay, I would go like this. DMC 3, DMC 4, yeah, that seems to be the popular opinion. DMC Reboot, DMC 2. I wouldn't even have the DMC Reboot in there. So I have major issues with... Anyway, yeah, the creator of... not the creator of Devil May Cry, but the guy who supposedly saved the franchise has literally spent most of the games that he has done trying to sideline or get away from Dante as much as humanly possible. Like, the same guy who did DMC 2, right, who tried to change Dante, also did the DMC Reboot, and has also said that he wanted to do the DMC Reboot, like, 2, but they wouldn't let him, so he said he guesses he'll just do DMC 5 then. Again, this guy has been trying to get away from that character of Dante forever. He finally did it in 5 because he wrote the closing to the story, but yeah. So that's, I mean, and if you look at it, like, Nero is pretty much the Dante from, like, he's been trying to rewrite Dante for 2 decades now, and nobody seems to care. So, yeah, I don't know. Gorilla Mar says, now that you've had a White Claw, how's the Guinness sounding now, Royce? Worse than White Claw. Guinness is disgusting, dude. Guinness is not a good beer. It's really not. Bear Claw as a substitute. A1C. What? Bear Claw? Like, are you talking about, like, the sugary pastry that you would buy at a gas station? I would not eat a Bear Claw. Those are gross. Those are gross. I ate a lot of them when I was a kid, but... Grillamar, I've learned so much during this stream. Yeah. Creative Welshman, Barney the effing dinosaur? Oh, yeah. Yeah, my wife's got some wild stories from when she was a teenager. Like, her 18th year on this earth was a culmination of, like, a lot of bad decisions almost turning out even worse, and then she met me. So, it was, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And eat Bear Claws. Wait, what? Pay Royce to drink Guinness now. No! No, we're not paying me to drink Guinness now. No. Creative Welshman. So, Royce, when's it men's night? And am I allowed on it? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do like a guys stream because I kind of do a lot of those between like Comic Shop Wednesday and like the late. So here's the thing. The ladies night thing is specifically something that the Saska sisters like came up with. And they were like, hey, we'd really love to do this. We'd really love, are you cool with it? Would you host us? Because I think it's easier than them setting up a YouTube channel and doing all that with all the busy stuff. So, and it brings people over to the channel and they're trying to help me out and they're super freaking chill. So that's kind of where all this came from. And it's kind of fun. And my wife loves hanging out with them too. And I love having my wife on stream. So, and it's more fun for her to sit and talk with them. So no, it just works out so many different ways. Royce needs a bottle of Bunratty mead. Dude, if I could find mead around here anywhere, that would be cool. I literally can't, like I've looked, Yeah. Black Dragon Comics. Royce would rather hang out at Hogwarts than drink a White Claw. Same. I'm sorry. Hang at Hogwarts. Yeah. That was a horrible joke that I made. It didn't even sound good in my head, but Black Dragon Comics got it. Yeah, but how close are they to me? If they're way too far away, Tim Allen, 5 places in an entire state. And I bet most of those places are in cities that are hours away, most likely. Anyway, all right, okay, then here we go. Aragmar Brilliant. Chicken is actually a dinosaur. Potentially, yes. Bulgarian Musico win. I have no idea when my wife makes it, probably. Hour 23 from Aragmar Brilliant. He says, we talked about spinning and weaving with RH Snow on our Terran Tuesday stream. She showed her handmade tools and told us a lot about it. That's freaking cool. Yeah, you guys talk about some interesting things on that live stream. It's freaking cool. You guys got to go check it out. It's over on the World Without End Lore YouTube channel every Tuesday night, known as Terran Tuesdays. Chatsu says, not even 3 minutes in and the goat memeing has begun. Grabs popcorn. This is going to be a good one. My comments are long this week, so I figure I'd give you a break for this video. Everybody's comments are long this week. Everybody. Oh, good Lord. Maji Chan says, this stream was a blast. I can't wait for the next one. Yes, and there will be another one. There will. There was a lot that was said in that stream. Oh, good Lord. Where are we going? What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to check. I got to check the private messages and stuff like that. But the best way to do it is through my email, so I kind of keep that close down because, yeah, not going to. All right. Got to make sure that I keep checking the direct donation links because I don't want to be mean and not read your comments if you send them in, especially if you send them in with some hard-earned dollars of yours attached. That would make me the worst person on the planet if you guys sent in money and I didn't read it. I'd be like, oh, that's not cool. I should do that. So, ooh, that's cool. I like that stuff. All right. All right. Snow says, holy cow. What a great interview. Blaine Pardoe is the GOAT. That's right. On Friday, we had Blaine Lee Pardoe back. Absolutely awesome interview. I love Blaine Pardoe. The guy is unbelievably incredible. So I freaking love him to death. He's such a great dude. I love that. I can't believe that he came over here and hung out with us again. It's awesome. The Pineappler, you have activated my tism. Someone has been watching a lot of the Unsub podcast. Dude, I've been watching a lot of the Unsub podcast. Those guys are an absolute riot. And from start to finish, you can't help. You think I say some spicy things here on YouTube? You should see the Unsubscribed podcast. Holy crap, the stuff that they say. It's awesome. I love that show, dude. It's got a lot of the YouTubers that I watch. And not only that, but they cross over with other YouTubers, which is really cool because YouTube is I'll get into that. I might do a video on it, but I've actually heard several YouTubers talk about it now. One of the most notable being Matt Pat in a recent podcast that he did with Jacksepticeye, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but YouTube is doing this thing where they're kind of siloing content creators, not because they're malicious or anything like that. Well, probably to some people they are, but for the most part, but they're basically they're kind of keeping content creators in their own like categories instead of just like blasting it out to the whole wide world to basically just avoid an adpocalypse again. So that way, if one person gets a little too spicy or has a controversial take, because it doesn't spread out to the whole wide world, unless you're in that niche, you don't really know about that controversial take, which makes it more ad safe for vendors, which again is kind of part of the reason why I'm doing my independent creator coverage over here on this live stream channel, and I'm going to be doing the more like talking about, I guess, mainstream AA games, anime, my fun theories that I have over on the other channel. So I separate the two. I've got the indie over here on the lives. I've got the fully recorded and produced stuff over here on the main channel, and then as the main channel grows, I can kind of send people over. Where's here? Here is there and everywhere. It's easy, D-Gray. I don't know why. Lurk. Hey, what's going on? Here on the channel, right? All right. Tom Highland, the Highlandian, says, great interview, guys. Oh, excuse me. Coffee. I apologize. That was gross. I am so sorry. Great interview, guys. I'm looking forward to Land and Sea TTRPG. That's going to be a blast. I think a lot of people are going to have fun with it. Finally getting around to watching this before Sunday coffee. I might work on a piece for Comic Shop Wednesday, and it may or may not involve goats. Well, yeah, I think a lot of people do that. All right, moving back over here. That is all of the live streams that I did this week. God, I did so many freaking live streams. So many freaking live streams. It's a touch ridiculous. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 live streams this week. Like, yeah. So that's nuts. All right, we'll pop that one down, go back over to the main channel. That's right, the main channel. So, here we go. For some reason, this video has all of a sudden picked up in the last day, and it's weird because it's gained a decent amount of viewership in the last like 24 hours, and I don't understand that because it's been dead for like a day, but it's getting very close to crossing over that 1,000 viewer mark. And like even more so, like the watch time hours on this video are pretty freaking good. It's got 54 watch time hours, which they say is about the same as usual for my channel, so that's not bad. But yeah, that's really freaking cool. So you guys crushed it on this video. Thank you guys for turning out for that one. Like I said, it was a clip from, historically my clips don't usually do very well either. All right, let's go to newest first. Okay, now I have to scroll because there's a lot of freaking comments here. A lot of comments here. Which video? The one talking about the amazing digital circus. It's had a couple of different subtitles after that, but yeah, the amazing digital circus and how it's effective at reaching out to younger generations. So yes. Iced tea. Oh, iced tea is good. Because my coffee's almost gone. Oh, goodness Lord. All right. Let's get over here. You are a circus hero, right? Well, yeah, it's my circus. Darth Bobcat says, Digital Circus seemed like an honest attempt to make a show for the sad millennial audience that most kids shows these days are secretly directed at. I don't think so. Possibly. A lot of them look like they're very young millennials, so I actually went and looked up their developer page and their website and all that. They're a very young team, and they have said that they are looking to do some fantastic dang great. What, there's a lawsuit, Rumble? What's going on? Oh, I said the name. Interesting. Didn't know about that. Anyway, so my understanding is that they're actually trying to create a, digital internet animation for like young teens and like teenagers, right? So really trying to hit a demographic that's kind of been forgotten about, right? Because I went and looked up a bunch of stuff on that one. So Ragmar Verillion says remake can never recapture the spirit and success of the original. Moreover, these days, they literally decimate the original for the sake of reimagining for the modern audience, and people wonder why they fail every single time. Yeah, so apparently X-Men 97 didn't do that, because I know what this is in reference to. But yeah, that, dude, we're going to get into that, because I saw... snap. I saw... Why can I not think of Ravensloft? Was talking about this and did a video about it. Talking about like the success and stuff like that of like what, like, because there are some people that are like, no, X-Men 97 was wildly successful, and there are some people that are like, X-Men 97 is doing poorly. And going through, like, dude, I spent because I ended up falling asleep when we got home. We had a birthday party to go to yesterday. And we were out in like 80, 90 degree weather. I was like, actually, no, it was almost 90 degrees yesterday. And then I had many beers. And then when I got home, I was like, I'm gonna go sleep now. And then I woke up and I just doom scrolled the internet for like 4 hours until I fell asleep. That was fun. Twitter is a wild place, man. Like, I usually don't just sit there and just doom scroll, but my God, I was like, whoa. So yeah, and then I saw this X-Men 97 conversation. And I was like, oh yeah, somebody said something about that. And so I pulled up a bunch of info, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to, oh dude, don't doom scroll X or Twix or whatever we call it. My God, I'm actually here for a Sunday coffee. So this is what the weekend feels like. Yes, it is. It is what the weekend feels like. Darth Bobcat, I'm still a little shocked that X-Men 97 flopped. It's at least an 8 out of 10. I guess adults who'd be interested in continuation of a 90s cartoon is a small audience. Most likely, yes. And my guess is that most of the people who grew up with that cartoon, who liked it when they were kids, are not actively involved in watching the original cartoons anymore. That would be a smaller subsect of like the really like the lifers, right? Like the people who are like, nope, I love this stuff. I'm always gonna love this stuff. I'm gonna continue. But a lot of people do grow out of that. So and it's not just that. So it's not like, we'll get into that because that's a lot of information that I'm gonna have to break down, and I'm gonna have to pull up websites, and it's gonna be Razor Fist was not happy about that cartoon. He went off on it on his stream on Friday. Interesting. I don't know. Here's the thing. I've already seen X-Men. I've seen many different versions of X-Men. My favorite version of X-Men, which was canceled after the first season, was Wolverine and the X-Men, which was weird because similar thing with this X-Men 97, right? Is that Wolverine and the X-Men was highly rated and highly reviewed, but they didn't have enough people watching. So it got axed. Obviously, X-Men Evolution, a lot of people love that. That one gave us Goth Rogue, so yeah, right? And I know there are a lot of people who are like, no, Southern Belle Rogue is, nope, that's where you're wrong. Nope, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. And then yeah. But again, cartoons that were really highly regarded got axed, got canceled. Very, very interesting. Loved using modern stories and more mature. That was really good. It was really, really good. And I felt that they handled the time travel thing somewhat well. So that was good. Drake Tungsten, I'd like to introduce you to the boomers. Not just them, though, dude. Not just them, right? Older millennials who decided to, like, they didn't have kids. They didn't have families. They didn't really do anything. You watch the Marvel anime X-Men? Best art. Marvel Anime X-Men. No, I have not seen the anime one. I've heard about it, but every time I went to find it at the time I was looking for it, I was not able to find it. So, I wanted to. I did search it though. Okay, so Andrew Rowland says, I went in this video anticipating you talking about how we need to get independent creators to make things for a general audience rather than focus on the adult audience. That's pretty much what I said in this video. But then I watched the video and I don't know what you were even talking about. Most people did. So, yeah, you don't get into detail on why Digital Circus is catching the younger audience. Did you watch it or did you just check the stats? No, I watched it. I actually watched it and I had conversations with my children about it, right? And the thing that my kids are saying, and they're like, yeah, we like the animation. It looks really good. And some of the characters are really funny, right? They're like, oh yeah, this character is definitely evil, by the way. And this character is definitely, you know, like, what the heck even happened? Like, the show is fun. It's entertaining. It's engaging. It's got some deeper, darker stuff going on, you know, but it has elements there that kids can watch. And it has elements there that, you know, teenagers can watch. But again, ultimately, like, there are a lot of kids out there that see this thing and they go, wow, this is really good. So no, I didn't just check the stats. I actually went and watched it. So, and then I went and watched other people's breakdowns of it. And then I had conversations about it with other people. And I also had conversations with my kids about it. And you went into the video anticipating what I was going to talk about. And that's exactly what I said in the video, right? Most people got what I was saying, but that doesn't mean that everybody understands what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that everybody, because I phrase things in a certain way. The other side of this too is that was the last 8 minutes of a 25-minute long, like, it wasn't really a rant, but there was a lot of stuff to work through there, right? I looked and was like, holy crap, I cannot put up a 25-minute video. Like, that's a lot. And I wasn't able to cut out certain chunks of context and stuff like that. I was going to try to do that to make it shorter. But then when I got to the end, I was like, all right, my wrap up pretty much sums up how I was feeling throughout the video. So yeah. But no, so most people actually caught what you anticipated and commented on it as well. So maybe it was just my phrasing that you didn't quite understand, but I'm glad that at least most people did. But again, it's everybody's different, right? So, and I'm not going to say something that sounds concise to everyone. From author Johnny Douglas, from what my son told me, the Digital Circus is the creators working to make a show not so much aimed at kids' horror, but characters with an existential crisis. Yes. Yes. So, which existential crisis, like, I think a lot of people have. I mean, and when everybody out there, like, I've had this conversation and they're like, no, you shouldn't be putting this stuff in front of, I'm like, in front of children and telling them it's good and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, or you look at how kids are feeling these days and you make something that they could go, wow, I get it. I mean, why do you think we listened to punk music when I was growing up? Like Blink 182 and freaking Sum 41 and like Green Day and like a bunch of those different bands that were coming out at the time. Like, literally, it was the generation of angsty music, as they called it, right? It's because they tapped into that feeling that generation had. Like, who out there is tapping into the feeling that the next generation has? Because I don't think any of them are. I don't think a lot of people are doing that. I just assumed you listened to punk because you were gay. Wow. Oh, man. Creative Welshman. There are several reasons why these franchises aren't clicking with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, Royce. Most likely, yes. These hobbies and stories aren't being shared with youth of today, and therefore they have no real interest in them unless it's related to a thing they like, a thing like Mario. Collectors who buy comics probably haven't read the bloody things and won't share them with their kids because it might ruin the collectability aspect of the hobby. Same with toys. See, and that right there, I think, is more detrimental to like, we want to know why stuff died out. That's a very big one. 2, generational cultural differences. Yes, the youth of today grew up with different cultural standards that older generations are not accustomed to. Yes, have we ever heard of the internet and just the way that people act here? Yeah. Hey, Zuvile, what's going on? I checked a couple of minutes of it. It was disgusting animation. I haven't. Wow, disgusting. Really? See, it's getting a visceral reaction from some people. I thought the animation was on point, especially because they're trying to go for like an early 2000s style. There's a lot of stuff in there that they're doing intentionally to kind of like, drop lore hints and stuff like that. So it's really cool. It's definitely kind of more of like a Five Nights at Freddy's type of, if you look at it through like the lens of how like Five Nights at Freddy's like unraveled its whole mystery, it's doing that same thing. So, companies can't profit because they sail the high seas for all their retro goodness, and the way the newer generations interact and express interest in franchises. It's unlike anything the previous generations have experienced, i.e. they are on the internet and built a new culture around online connectivity. Yes and no, because when kids like something, they do ask for said thing of that thing that they like to get purchased, right? And so that's really where people are like, yeah, this younger generation, they just don't operate the same way. And I'm like, well, they like something. They ask for that thing for their birthday and Christmas. Sounds kind of similar to, the way that the rest of us worked. It's just the difference is that they don't watch, they don't watch, cable television. They watch the new cable television, which is YouTube. So, yes. So, yeah. Politics, yeah, this speaks for itself because the current drivers for modern politics are boomers, and they simply don't get Gen Z or even us millennials who get blamed for everything. Our shows, games, books, films, and music, even religion is being infected with garbage politics. Yeah, I can agree with that. And it's driving us away. We don't want their insane beliefs shoved down our throats. We're seeing in the last few years a complete and utter rejection of the woke ideals because they don't represent us at all. Can we stop saying woke and please just call it what it is? It's Marxism. God, I hate the word woke. I hate using a word that the opposite political party wanted you to use for years, and then people use it. Like, God, can we please stop using that word? It just, like, but it's just like the right wing to do, right? The left tells the right wing what to do, and then the right does it and thinks it's cool every single time. Every single time. Okay. So, for sometimes families. Oh, sorry. Chewing ice in the microphone is not a good thing, children. Don't do that. I apologize. Sometimes families unite to reject things they used to like. For example, Doctor Who. Whole families watched the show when it was revived. And since the Doctor became a woman, the ratings have dropped off a cliff, record lows in the franchise, 60 years in the history, and that is unheard of. So here's the thing. It's not since the Doctor became a woman, it's since the storytelling went downhill. So if I remember correctly, the first episode of Doctor Who, and I've got it because I didn't watch it, but I know a lot of people did. And I guess the ratings for the very first episode where Jodie Whittaker was the Doctor were like some of the highest in many. So a lot of people tuned in to give it a chance. And then when the storytelling just went absolutely downhill, people were like, nope, screw this. Why are they doing this? They're like, it could have been good. They could have made it work, but they didn't. And now people are just absolute. Yeah. So, yeah. What people need is deliberately bad, incompetent, hateful, idiotic people were put in charge to destroy the worlds we grew to love. So here's the thing. It's intentionally bad because of the... okay, I got this go. The reason that everything is like this right now is because they are trying to collapse the system. They have a plan, and they have about 6 years that they want to accomplish it. So, yeah. By 2030, they would really love to get some stuff done, and they can't do that if a lot of people still believe in the world that basically created the greatest civilization on the planet. They can't go back to like some bullcrap version of like feudalism if, you know, we all still believe in our own property rights and stuff like that. That's what it's for. So there's too much out for anyone to consume, and things have to go ignored. There are more shows than a single person can ever watch, most of which is vastly superior to what's being put out today. That's a good one. Old content isn't safe from being, I think you mean tampered with. And any changes to established canon and characters can kill a series overnight. Just look at what happened with Star Wars. Some series simply outstayed their welcome and have become a joke as they have tried to stay relevant instead of letting the story end as it was supposed to. The Simpsons is one of those, which is very interesting. On the flip side, companies deliberately sabotage their own products, setting themselves up for failure. They want to chase a different market with a more promising ROIs. That's not what it is at all. It's literally not. Like, it's not. They're like, if these companies were smart, they would know that by collapsing all this stuff. No, guys, it's like all of this is intentional, and there's a reason for it. But they fail to understand that they are simply years late trying to cash in on a trend when they could have been comfortably profiting with their old products while organically expanding to new audiences like My Little Pony, for instance. I'm sure this comment will get deleted, but I don't care. This needs to be heard and discussed. Most of the time, comments don't get deleted unless you hit one of the buzzwords that YouTube doesn't like, and I don't know what those buzzwords are, so I can't tell you what not to say. Holy crap! Why? Good God! Very well done comment, Creative Welshman. I like what you had to say here. Crimson Law. Holy man, you guys went off. Oh, my goodness. Aloy, what's going on in the chat? Haven't seen you in a while. All right. Because we want to keep you entertained, Royce. That's why Shut Up, Right Out Productions. Let's make Royce Royce will read our comments. Let's make sure we write novels so he reads them. Crimson Law. Oh, this is a very interesting train of thought and full neuron activation. It is time for a very long comment. I love that he put the DLR, the TLDR down below. Oh, all right. Do you want to drink the White Claw? It's this or White Claw? Please don't make me drink more White Claw. I hate that shit. All right, since we're talking entertainment for kids, what I have found as a guy whose whole YouTube brand is reviewing cartoons and anime is that the best kids shows are the ones that can still be enjoyed by adults. Yeah. You know who else? Read us a story. You know who else said something very similar to that? C.S. Lewis. Well, I'm paraphrasing him, but didn't C.S. Lewis say something like, you know, a kid's story that can't be enjoyed by adults is a bad kid's story? Like, people have known this for 100 years. I'm not saying anything new, and none of us are saying anything new. What we're saying is, you know, stories should be written in a way that they can be enjoyed through the life of a person. So, I read comments in a different language. That's weird. Okay. Okay. There are some things you will inevitably grow out of, but there are some things that as you get older only seem to shine brighter in your memory. Yeah, that's annoying, by the way. So I really hope that doesn't happen to me. Everybody says it will. I hope it doesn't. I hate the idea that we look back on everything and we're like, no, it was so much better back then. No, it was not. It was not. There's a lot of stuff today that's not good, but yeah. All right. The peak of the American cartoon model was in creating something that could be enjoyed by adults and children alike. Batman the Animated Series was a great example of this. It was an everybody product, one that has stayed around due to nostalgia and the love it garnered. In this generation, the slot has been largely taken up by shonen battle anime. Well, and the other side of this, too, is you've got to think about the American, like what you're talking about with the American cartoon model, like the amount of toys that you could go out and buy. Like those shows were literally just to sell the toys. Like if I remember correctly, I've heard a lot of people say that those shows, although good, didn't actually profit a whole lot of money because type of animation was never really it was still expensive, and it never really had a large enough audience to make it self-sustainable. So they had to sell the toys, they had to sell the merchandise, the lunch boxes, and all that stuff, right? If I remember correctly, I believe I'm not saying that all of them were like that, but most of them were kind of in that regard. So, it was an everybody product. One stayed around due to nostalgia and the love it garnered. In this generation, the slot has been largely taken up by shonen battle anime. Very true. I will actually absolutely agree with that. Now, you've mentioned that times have changed and that the interests have changed, but appreciation for good entertainment never really does. This is very true. But what we deem as good entertainment changes and varies based on the generations, right? I've always enjoyed cartoons from all generations, from the black and white Popeye the Sailor Man all the way up to modern anime like Jujutsu Kaisen and YouTube productions like The Amazing Digital Circus. I am with you on that, Crimson Law. I agree with all of that. I think there's probably a point to be made keeping the classics around for posterity. Oh, yeah, no. And I never said anything about getting rid of them. I said they will always be there, okay? They'll always be there. You can always go back and watch them. I said this thing, right? I made sure to say this thing, okay? I think there's a point to be made about keeping the classics around posterity, as some will inevitably still enjoy them. At the same time, though, the idea of remaking something outside of, say, a digital upscaling or better video quality, has become the entertainment industry's lazy attempt at grabbing money from those who have it, rather than trying the traditional model of getting kids to ask their parents for it. It doesn't actually draw in the new generation because it's seen as something before their time, and especially because it was geared towards tastes and experiences that aren't quite the same anymore. Very true. But, well, I would wonder how many teenagers today would feel any sort of connection with the characters from, like, Saved by the Bell, right? You guys remember Saved by the Bell? I was thinking about that show the other day, and that show was 90s as hell. But when thinking about that was one of those things that I was like, how many kids today, how many teenagers today would look at that and go, oh my gosh, this is similar to because again, that's one of those things that I just wonder, would that show still be enjoyed today? I would imagine. I don't even see it streamed really anywhere, right? But it didn't had right. Not that it didn't have a cultural input, but stuff like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, you want to talk about a 90s show that still lives today. And I can't believe they're remaking that, which they shouldn't, because The Fresh Prince is fantastic, right? But yeah, it's just one of those things is that you look at the times and the way that stuff is done is like there are keynotes and things that are done in certain time periods, the 90s, the early 2000s, and 80s before that. And it's like, how many kids today have, like, what's today's thing for kids? Like, what's that cultural thing, everybody will say, well, these kids are just doing stupid, the stupid dances of TikTok and all that. I'm like, dude, do you guys remember crossing your arms and doing this down the hallway with your friend? Like, come on, man. We did stupid stuff as well. Like, everybody's like, oh, dabbing. I'm like, dude, that's just a modern version of all the dumb crap we did. It's just, it's just a different, unique thing for that generation, right? I think there's probably a point to be made keeping classic. Yes, I already read that. Kids can actually experience taste. Okay, cool. All of this to say, while the times and interests changed, it's not as much as you'd think. While I grew up with the DC animated universe and similar cartoons that were driven by stories, kids younger than myself have many anime like My Hero Academia or Kaiju Number 8 to deal with proper storytelling, and that's that an adult would appreciate while still being mostly accessible to kids for the comedy routines and overall whimsical elements at play. And this generation's version of Popeye or Tom and Jerry has become the Amazing Digital Circus, all of which are the same brand of outrageous comedic elements, but the Amazing Digital Circus comes with a dose or two of the YouTube/social media internet humor. Okay, that's been around since the early days of the internet. Jax pulls out a waffle cone shotgun for crying out loud. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I didn't even catch that. They also made a Metal Gear Solid reference too. In that, yeah, there's a lot of like gamer references and stuff. Mr. Beast, Game Theory, Smosh, Manga. Yeah, Creative Welshman's got it. Tag you on Twitter, Royce. All right, I'll go over to Twitter. Give me a second. Why did you tag me on Twitter? Brands, outrageous comedic elements. Where was I? Okay, the faces on the surface may differ, but but overall, the same archetypal kind of entertainment is there in cartoons. And as the younger generation is more in tune with the newest and most cutting edge of culture, in that regard, it inevitably adopts some of the aspects of its era. So I think it might be a fun experience to share your own childhood joys with your kids, but trying to force it on them with constant remakes that don't target them or really show them what they want will never work. Yeah. I agree. TLDR, the formula for a good cartoon remains the same. It just gets a tad bit of a remix on humor and dialogue to match the times. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Yep. And that is the thing. God, why so many long comments this week? And don't forget that along with all of that, like, yeah, you do share the stuff. Like I watched shows with my dad. There's a lot of them that I still love. Like I cannot believe he's a communist, but I loved Andy Griffith. I loved watching Andy Griffith with my dad. I loved watching I Love Lucy when they would show it on TV, because we didn't have cable for a long time, but they did a Mork and Mindy. A lot of people don't even know Mork and Mindy. Like it's like, I think that's Robin Williams' first role. But yeah, Mork and Mindy. I watched that. Loved watching that with my dad. You know, the old school cartoons. My grandpa used to watch the Acme Hour and the Tom and Jerry and all that stuff. So I'd watch all this, and the Popeye and all, like a lot of the old cartoons. So I loved watching all this old stuff. That being said, like my dad and my grandfather loved watching Westerns. I could not stand Westerns. Still to this day, I'm not really a fan of them. The only one that I've ever really liked is Tombstone. And there's a big argument that Tombstone from the 96, 93, 96, 93. Anyway, that one, you guys know the one I'm talking about. They're like, yeah, it looks like a Western. People are like, but it's not, with the way that it tells its story. So, but again, yeah, there's some things I really liked from my grandpa's generation and my dad's generation, but there are things that I also didn't. And then there are things that I really liked in my generation as well. Was it 92? Jeez, I wasn't even a year old yet. Herman B. Hunter, the Lord Ford, says, over the course of the last 5 cons, I've sold books to roughly 10 people under the age of 30. Virtually all of them male. It's probably 25% of the people who have bought my books at cons. And when those kids bought under the age of 30, so any teenagers like 12, 13, 14, 15 at the cons, those that don't like Tombstone should not be trusted. I agree. It's a great freaking movie. I know some people that don't like it, though. And when those kids bought one of those books, one kid looked at it like he had found the Holy Grail. I'm not even kidding. They don't want old, worn-out content. They want new content that speaks to them, and not the emo crap that Netflix is dumping out on its site. Now, see, but that was my generation, right? The emo crap is what my generation wanted. And then when we grew up, a lot of people did not grow out of that, and so they're still writing that and going, why isn't this popular? And that's because that was a pinprick in time. And really, the emo thing only lasted a few years at the height of its popularity. So, Chatsu, suddenly I'm feeling better about the length of my comments. Yes, Chatsu, Chatsu's like, well, I write long comments, but they wrote long comments. We are not the same. Speak for yourself, Royce. What are you talking about, Bad Sauce? What are you talking about? Some great tunes in that short-lived emo era, though. Yeah, there were some really, really good tunes. Okay. Holy Grail. Okay, they don't want old warrant content, and not the emo stuff Netflix is dumping on site. They want to read about good versus evil and men acting like men. Well, I mean, we always kind of have, right? Cripes, even some of the women said this. The X-Men remake did nothing but tread old ground from sources whose messages are contaminated with wokeism. Stop using the word wokeism. What? Stop using that word. Royce chose poorly. I did choose poorly. I did. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing, and we should try to tap that market because the rest of the world has given up on it, and I suspect that segment is huge. But what do I know? Same generation, no emo stuff. Thank you. Yeah. And that wasn't for everybody, right? It wasn't for everybody. What I loved is seeing the kids who were my generation who were like, they were dressing like they were from the 80s. I was like, oh, God, you guys are annoying. Like, the 80s was so much better than now. And I'm like, yeah, all that economic success, you know, and corporate shillery and all of your music and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, that's going to piss a lot of people off. Yeah, stop using wokeism. Call it what it is. Call it Marxism. It's Marxism. It's cultural Marxism. Why are we using the words that the left told us to use? Like, what did you just follow lockstep in line and be like, well, you conservatives need to start using this word now, because that's literally what they said in like 2015, 2016 when they started saying woke. And then like a few years later, everybody started using it. Like, don't use the language that they tell you to use. God. Sorry. The 80s were better. The 80s seems pretty sick. I disagree. I've heard 80s music a lot in my life, and I'm just like, it's there. So, but I don't constantly look for stuff in the past and go, hey, this is good. Like, I still look for new music today. I can't do the over processing of newer music, which is on the back end. I think some of the actual music itself is good, but they're doing way too much. I won't use wokeism to describe wokeism. Here's the problem, though. Most people can't even describe what that word means and have done so freaking terribly that they get laughed at anytime that they do, and you're not taken seriously, right? Every time you see major interviewers like, well, can you please describe what woke is? Nobody can describe it. Nobody can. And it's kind of funny. Make it short and concise, right? But the problem is that, and because people are doing to that word what the left did to the words racism and Nazism, right? We just called everybody that, and it means absolutely nothing. Our words need to carry some weight, and that word has been so utterly devalued. Okay, encouraged by what I'm seeing, and we shall try to tap into the market because the rest of the world expects. Yeah. Oh yeah, I finished. Okay, mediocrity 4. I think a minority. My brain did not read that word right. My brain was like minority. Minority? No, I was brain. Sorry. My brain did a brain there for a second. It was gone. All right. But 80s metal runs in my veins. Yeah, no, it runs in a lot of people's veins. I just don't think that it's the best music on the planet. So I think after I've listened to enough music in my life, I kind of feel the same way about just like most of it, right? I have music from all different genres, all different generations, ranging from the 40s, 40s onward. Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, still classical stuff and there's cinematic stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. All right, I think a minority of people are falling into this trap. It just so happens that minority are the people currently in charge of greenlighting projects. Reboots and reimaginings has always been a thing, but it used to be one generation passing the torch to a new generation. Now it's a bunch of millennials making glorified, edgy fan fictions of their old favorites and kicking the original demographic kids out of it. Yes, that right there. Properly affixed, and they have to change words. That's what happened to liberalism, socialism. That's right. Used it as a cudgel. The left had to abandon the term, but they didn't. There are people out there who, like, I'm not even screwing with you. They proudly proclaim to be woke. Still, they're like, yeah, like there are. So they didn't abandon the term at all. All right. I would love to see that metric. I would love to see that metric where they abandoned it, because I've seen people on live streams flat out say that they were woke. They you see it all over a bunch of places. They love being called it because it's like when you look at a Christian, you say, "What are you, a Christian?" They go, "Yeah, actually I am." It's that same response. Did people stop using the word Christian every time somebody made fun of them for being that? Or it was like, "Oh, you're just a Christian." Did people stop doing that? No. That logically doesn't even make sense. When they want to be called something and you call them that thing, even if you say it in a derogatory fashion, they will be like, "Ha, yeah, I actually am." None of that makes any sense. Like, when somebody says, "Yes, I am this," and you're, "Oh yeah, what are you, this?" And they're like, "Yeah, I just said that. Yes, I am." Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's Marxism. It's cultural Marxism is what it is, which essentially means that society has transgressed upon me for insert reason, and therefore society needs to pay for it. That's what it is. Okay, sorry. X-Men isn't the first example, but is by far the worst. I mean, so X-Men 97, from what I've heard, is really good. I've actually, from everybody, like, reviews from everybody have been fairly decent across the board. So, okay. On top of being uglier to look at than the 30-year-old show, I've heard the animation's pretty freaking good from what I've heard. So, but I haven't watched it, so I've heard it on both sides. We live in society. Jerry. That's what the internet has become. Shut up, Bat Sauce. No, I'm not interested in 97 either. I've already seen X-Men in multiple cartoon versions. Like, I don't really need to see it again. Like, it's there. I've seen it. It's cool. It's completely and utterly disconnected from its predecessor in tone, content, maturity, etc. All right, 6. Heavily agreed. Go forward. Hey, 6, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. Gorilla Mars says companies today are way too concerned with chasing the customer nostalgia high and not worried about attracting newer fans going forward. So what they need to do is they need to start hitting the demographic that has expendable income. Everybody bitches about the economy being in a bad way and how nobody can afford anything. And so they target the demographic that's bitching about not being able to afford anything. How does that make any sense? I have no idea. Like I said, I have no idea how X-Men 97 is. So, I haven't watched it. I've heard good and bad things about it. So, I have a few of the X-Men 97 on VHS. Yeah, I'm that old. Oh, yeah. I think, what is it? I was listening to something as 94, 95, 96 was the original year that it aired, and X-Men 97 was supposed to be their cheeky way of saying that we're just continuing the story like it was 1997, right? Partying like it's 1999. That's really cool that you still have some of those on VHS. Payden, we can't afford to do to the Zoomers what the Boomers did to us. Legacy is important. Yeah, I think a lot of people are really starting to get fairly spiteful to the older generations for the way that the market economy has gone, for the way that politicians and the business owners, not like mom and pop shops, but like the multinational corporations have been run, and the way that generation really has just completely, it's like they had a chance to get a little bit of money because their families came out of the Great Depression, so they just completely changed the market to make sure that they would gather wealth and never have to give it up. From political structures to the corporate structures to just a bunch of stuff like that. And I think that is not like the best way that we as human beings survive and cultivate and work is if all of us have that chance, right? To take that weight, to pick up that cross, to move forward and build ourselves up. And when a lot of people feel that the older generation basically manipulated governments and markets in a way to rob that from other people, it's not turning into a very fun situation, right? A lot of people are feeling like that these days. It's like, why is inflation so high? Why are these stupid rules in place? Why does this law exist? Why does that law exist? None of this makes any sense. But if you look at it in the aspect of a constant way to funnel money from, you know, the younger generations or even certain classes of people to one direction, like, I mean, dude, what do you think all the lockdowns were for? Why do you think you could go shop at Walmart, but you couldn't shop at your local mom and pop grocery store, right? Because it was designed in a way to funnel all of that money in one direction. And guess what? That money didn't go back into the economy. You want to know part of the reason that inflation's as bad as it is? That's why. And this is what and I don't know if it's just the boomers. I also think it's a large portion of the Gen Xers that are in there too, right? I mean, keep in mind, Gen X started being born in the 60s because the millennial generation starts in 81. So 80 to 65 is essentially Gen X. But again, it's a lot of that generation. Yeah, it was for your safety. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. You can only shop at Walmart because Walmart is definitely safer than, Pop's grocery store down the street. Oh, by the way, Pops, he's out of business now. So, we told you Walmart was so safe it didn't go out of business because look, Pops went out of business, but Walmart didn't. See? Yeah. Has it reached down into the millennial generation as well? No, I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't doubt it at all. Like if it has reached that far down, I would imagine because older millennials right now are in their early 40s, right? I'm kind of reaching towards the younger millennial thing. Gen X was in 66. Is that where it depends on where you go. It's always a 1 to 2 year shift depending on where people want to land that. So I don't know. But yeah, I was hatched in 69. There you go. Oh, you're like 5 years younger than my dad. I'm 80 Gen X. Gotcha. But yeah, no, it could be. Like I said, again, and this is one thing that we need to really look at. And it's a lot of people are getting mad. A lot of young people are like, why are you doing this to us? We like, why? And but they keep, and again, just inflation is almost always due to government printing money to pay for things that they can't afford. Also works as a flat tax. Yes, I am aware of all that. It is not the only cause of inflation, though. Okay. The other, look at it this way. The other portion of inflation that can absolutely happen, okay, is if a certain amount of money, okay, is extracted out of another portion of the market, and that portion of the market, okay, no longer has that money, right? And they can't go out and purchase the things, right? There's a lot of other stuff that can contribute here. Herman's not letting the wokeism go. He won't call it Marxism. He won't call it what it is. So I don't want the left to tell me what words to use, right? They really don't like being called Marxist. They really don't like that word. But yeah, I don't like using their language. That's part of the reason why a lot of my videos don't ever do well, because I just refuse to use that word in the titles of it. Anyway, all right. XF Steph. Where do we start reaching out to this generation? Make media and stuff that actually, is kind of funny. And they're like, hey guys, these internet lore. Hey guys, all that, like my kids know internet memes and they laugh at them and they think that they're funny, right? It sounds like what's happening to Social Security. Social Security has been a scam since it was started. But start using some of those jokes, right? Like, you start writing a story or creating animation, we're like, that's kind of sus. Immediately, kids go, hey, I use that word, right? It's a word that's a part of the generation. There's all these isms that everything has. Jason. Jamie Cusa. I specifically created the Star Warden with my nephews in mind, and Volume 1 is dedicated to them. Those stories are, in my opinion, suitable for all ages. And there are a lot of people doing that. Cassie Carroll. Cassie Carroll. That is a name that I am not familiar with. This is something I've observed as I've been trying to find content for my own kids. Do you know how hard it is to find edutainment video games? I thought they burned all of those. I am not a fan of edutainment video games. No. Although I can't say that. I guess there were some of them I played when I was a kid. When I was growing up, edutainment was huge, yes, and nobody freaking liked it. We had Oregon Trail, Amazon Trail, all the Sims games like Sims Earth, SimCity, etc. We had stuff like Roller Coaster Tycoon and numerous other things. Okay. I guess those would be considered edutainment. Maybe, I don't know. Edutainment was Carmen Sandiego. Dude, where on earth was Carmen Sandiego? That show was legit, right? I mean, we also had propaganda back then. I mean, look at Captain Planet, right? So, we also had that. You didn't like Donkey Kong Jr. math? Yeah, right. And now, look up old developer MECC Mech. They made all those titles, and now where are the edutainment titles? I would not. Yeah, they're all freak out games like that. Frog Numbers game. Very, very few games, I don't even know what she's referencing there, being made for kids. Same for comics. I highly disagree. I think a lot of games are being made for kids. There are very few comics being targeted at the child demographic. And the ones that are called manga. And they're selling like hotcakes. So yeah, where are the comics for kids? Yes, they make them in Europe, but not in America. Movies and TV shows are a bust. Like you said, it's so weird to me that children are being at best ignored and at worst preyed upon. Yeah, women too. And that's a different argument. I think everybody is right now. Magic School Bus? Yeah. How can you not like the Crystal Rainforest? I've never even heard of Crystal Rainforest. Captain Planet, more like Captain Thunberg. Oh, God. Pizza. Look. YouTube recommended me stuff I disagree with. Why shouldn't there be cartoons for adults? I never said there shouldn't be. I said the problem with most of these is that the adults don't have the fucking time to watch. I never once said there shouldn't be cartoons for adults. What I said is that them making cartoons that aren't targeting the widest audience possible and targeting the one audience that literally doesn't have time to watch their shit and probably isn't going to go out and buy the merchandise is probably a poor business decision. I never once said there shouldn't be cartoons for adults. Okay. It clearly has an audience. What's the problem? Okay. MHA is kids content too, and people from all ages watch it too. Yeah, MHA is all ages content. MHA just tells the story of superheroes. Like, I never said there should. How do people. Dude, people just make shit up in their heads. I swear to fuck. That's why I love people like, you said this. I'm like, fucking sweet. Where? Where did I say that? Please show me the clip. Well, I don't really have the clip right now. Oh, yeah. You don't really have the fucking clip right now? I wonder why. Fuck, man. Fairly Odd Parents was filled with veiled adult content too. Yes, it was. There's some shit that as a kid, I didn't catch any of it. As an adult, I was like, what the I mean, dude, the Animaniacs did the same thing. Like, the Animaniacs. Oh, God. Jasmine T. It's not so much people demanding remakes and more corporations trying to run franchises into the ground for safe profit over giving new... Oh, wait. It's not so much people demanding remakes and more corporations trying to run franchises into the ground for safe profit over giving new directors a space to create. That might be. Hector Manuel Elias Oliver. I was honestly intrigued with the video title, but after I watched it, I thought, how could this guy get so much things wrong? I do understand the sentiment of what you're saying, but the way you say it just doesn't ring true in basically any extent. And yet he made no attempt to break down anything that I said. You're wrong, okay? Please explain. I read my comments. So if you think I'm wrong, you should probably explain why. Oh, dude, watched a couple Animaniacs episodes. I was just, wait, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Original Looney Tunes were adult-driven, just like original Flintstones. Oh, yeah. A lot of content had veiled. Yeah, Shrek was a good example. Shrek, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Dude, Puss in Boots was so bad. We actually banned that from the house. Flintstones made cigarette commercials. I forgot about that. I mean, obviously, I wasn't alive during that time period, but yeah, I've seen the internet has exposed me to things. Oh, it's so great. Julian Rivera. I enjoyed 97. I didn't know it failed. Like that they had an odd. Liked that they add blood and adapted darker stories, not meant for kids. It failed in the regard that it's not able to track metrically through Samba TV or the Nielsen ratings, and in addition to that, through I'll get in it because I think I know the next. Why X-Men 97 failed? It's the most popular thing on Disney right now, getting high viewership. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, this is a good time to pause, and I am going to transfer all of the links over that I looked into last night while I was doom scrolling the interwebs, because why the F not? This is going to be, yeah. All right, so I just have to make sure that I share everything where I need to. Give me a second, chat. This is going to be fun times because I love being able to prove people the wrong, because it's fun to prove people the wrong. Because why not? Why not, chat? But yeah, he wants to know how X-Men 97 failed, and it's an interesting conversation to have when it comes to metrics, how things are actually viewed, so on and so forth. This guy, I've got a few of the articles pulls up. There's really only one person who's been talking about that specific thing, and it's kind of fun. Like, the guy kind of has like I think he's got like a raging hate boner for for Disney. But some of the information that he has is really valid. You just kind of have to get past all of his ridiculous, like, I was right. See how right I was? I was very right. And it's like, God bless America, dude. Calm the F down. Oh, God. I thought I had another tab pulled up that I wanted to pull up because it was from Dexerto. All right. Those three should cover it for now. All right. This is going to be great. Animation shouldn't exist. No one is saying that animation shouldn't exist. It's that it's oversaturating the market, leaving nothing for kids. Well, and here's the problem too, is the stuff that is considered adult is only adult for about 22 to 30-year-olds. So it literally leaves out older generations and younger generations. It's not even adult. It is literally for people who are of an age demographic who are only experiencing. It's kind of like how Friends was, right? Friends was a show now a lot of people could kind of get because it was the going from your 20s to your 30s, right? And kind of that whole experience of the 90s. And a lot of people can kind of get that. The problem is that with what they're doing right now, they're not going to get that high viewership. Okay, so let me pull up all these links, because if I don't pull up all these links, it's going to... So, but yeah, let's go over the X-Men 97 thing, because this is rather interesting. And like I said, you got to read through some of this stuff here. So, and then I actually have to pull up X as well. New tab, and new tab. Where is the Dexerto one that I pulled up. Okay, and then I need to go open up X. No, we got to open this one up, and then I got to go over here. Pop that down, go over here. Zombie TV, following, and then I got to go over to media. Okay. All right. So, published 6 days ago. All right, let's get into this. How bad is it cropped right now? It's not cropped that bad. All right. So this is over on Cosmic Book News. This guy does have a raging hate boner for Disney. So that aside, he starts to bring up, okay, and this is a lot of opinion in here, okay? He starts to bring up the Nielsen ratings that are there for tracking streaming and things like that and what's working, right? Now, these are all in so many minutes of watch time, right? I believe they're, minutes in millions, right? So Fallout 2024, obviously we can see there. Scrolling down the list here, we don't see really anything Disney on this list for the top 10 week of April 8th to April 14th, okay? So the Nielsen rating, and a lot of people don't like Nielsen, but Samba also tracks it as well. I also need to find, okay, so here's, again, this is Samba TV, and I'll go over to their Twitter and show you the same thing. Season 1. And then, look, hey, Wish on Disney. We actually have something in the top 8. And when they calculate all of this stuff, this is calculating the whole watch time of the series as a whole for that week. And X-Men 97 has not, in its runtime, so far, at the very least, managed to crack the top 10 of either of these places, right? In addition to that, there was... Let's see, here is it, Marvel show this year. Oh, this is the Dexter article. This is the one that I wanted to show you. So you scroll down here. This is actually taken from Variety, okay? So Disney, so this is breaking down just Disney, not the market as a whole, okay? Now, X-Men, 2024 share of Disney's original series viewership, okay? So we've got other, which we don't know what that is, but apparently other is 33%. Right? Oh, actually, I think that's probably the Taylor Swift thing. Okay. Percy Jackson. This is 2024. Percy Jackson. Echo. Right? X-Men 97 as a whole at 6.8%. Okay. Which is just a little bit above Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Okay. So this right here shows that the breakdowns in the viewership, although it may be the highest viewed thing on Disney right now, which... in terms of watch minutes is not true because that's how Samba TV and the Nielsen ratings work. It might be getting the clicks, but it's not getting the watch time. Okay. Now we go over here to Samba TV and you can see here, right? May 6th to May 12th. All right. Nothing Disney is here for watch minutes, right? Okay. Go here again. All right. Nothing here for Disney. All right. A lot of these shows are kind of recurring. You can see the ones. Yet again, nothing for Disney. Scrolling down again. This is the 15th to the 21st of April. Nothing for Disney. Going over here. Oh, look at that. Wish right here. Okay. 8th to the 14th. Check that out. There we go. Okay. Wish is over there for Disney. All right. Hey, look at here. Wish up even further. April 1st to April 7th. It cracked the top. Wow. Hit number 3. Right? So you see all of this, but you start to get more recent because X-Men 97 is recent and you're not seeing any X-Men 97 in here for viewable watch minutes. Okay? So when the conversation says that X-Men 97 had kind of failed. Hi, my love. How are you feeling?
I hurt.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So, so here's the thing. When they're like, it's the highest viewed thing on Disney right now, that's awesome. However, it's not cracking the top 10 of the overall market. Okay. So it might be the highest viewed thing on Disney right now, which is at 6.8% of the total overall viewership for 2024, which is 5% less total overall viewership than Echo, which and a lot of people said Echo was a massive failure. Okay. A lot of people are coming out saying they've already greenlit 2 more seasons of the show, which, if you know anything about animation, usually they purchase shows in by episode, right? So they do like a 30 episode purchase, or considering I think they only did 10 for the first one. So from what I'm to understand, about halfway through the first season, the second season, the writing was already done and the editing, and it was going to edit, right? So they hadn't started the animation on it, but the first season, so they were already doing this before they really saw the metrics on this. So when you say things like X-Men 97 isn't really doing well, it's kind of flopping, and people go, it's the highest viewed thing on Disney right now. It's like, okay, but Disney is also not cracking into the top 10 of the overall market. So if it's the highest viewed thing on one of the lowest viewed places, is that really a good thing? And I'm not saying that, necessarily Disney is the lowest viewed place, but what I'm saying is in the weekly programming that was coming out in weekly releases. And like I said, the way that this is calculated is it calculates the entirety of the property, right? So it doesn't just episode by episode, it calculates the watch time of that entire thing. Right? So again, series do the same thing. So if you get one episode and it cracks the top 10, and then the second episode cracks the top 10, well, that means that the entirety of that series that next week following also managed to get the watch time to crack the top 10. Okay? So this is where, when people say that X-Men 97 isn't doing good, it probably has an audience. It probably is getting the clicks, but it's not getting the watch time, okay? And watch time is how everything has been calculated for many, many, many years now, okay? I mean, that's technically the most important metric even on my YouTube channels, right? It's not necessarily how many people are watching. It's more important, how long can I keep those people entertained who are watching to get those watch minutes up, right? X-Men 97 might have a lot of people watching, but they're not watching for very long, if they are, okay? So yes, X-Men 97 is not cracking the top 10 between the Nielsen ratings, the Samba ratings, and then through Luminate, which is from Variety as well. It has right now an overall percentage of viewership for 2024 that is 6.8% of the original series viewership on Disney. Okay, which, if you add the whole of Disney, I would imagine all of Disney Plus, it's probably even a smaller percentage than that. Okay, so yes, X-Men 97, although a lot of people may say they like it, they did a good job, it's not getting the watch minutes, it's not getting the watch time, ergo, it's not doing well. Thank you for my TED Talk. Okay. Moving on, closing out a bunch of freaking screens because I don't want to. Oh, yeah, Johnny Douglas said oh, God. What the That's kind of funny. Video games will be coming soon to the Iron Age. What the I got to get rid of chat so you can see this. That's pretty good. Oh, God. Okay. All right. That was pretty good, dude. All right. I'll give you that one. Oh, God. All right. Oh, man. That's pretty funny. All right. Let's get back to these comments. So does that make more sense as to kind of like what I was looking at when I said X-Men 97 wasn't doing well? Does that make sense, or did I not do that? Did I watch Shogun? I don't even know what Shogun is. I have no idea what it is. Most of I watch YouTube. Like, I have watched YouTube and YouTube creators for years, and I much prefer to do that than go back to traditional television. It's so cringy. Traditional television's weird. But yeah. So I don't know, guys. Yeah, just let me know does all of that make sense? It's yeah, it's probably, and here's the thing, it's very well reviewed on all of the places that people are leaving reviews. But also at the same time, it's not getting enough people to give it the watch minutes. Right? So, but it was renewed for multiple seasons. Well, yeah, probably because they made that purchase up front. Right? Roland, excited. Season 2 numbers don't mean anything to me anymore. I mean, they don't have to, right? Like they're just metrics. They're just metrics that people can look at, right? They're just metrics that people can look at. So, about feudal Japan. Really? Is it any good? Best thing about like feudal Japan was Ghost of Tsushima. Ah, it is so good. Okay. All right, let's go to here. All right, Raul Nyanzi says all ages doesn't have to mean Paw Patrol. It can mean Sonic, Saddam, or Dragon Ball Z, or Fire Emblem. Very true. Very true. Raul Nyanzi had a complete and total like turnaround on this one. Yeah, so at least it's not the new Assassin's Creed for yeah. Assassin's Creed stopped being good when they got rid of Desmond Miles. So that was 3. So yeah. Chatsu, I recently caught myself doing something, and when I noticed, I started doing it consciously. Even when I'm writing something for a mature audience, I always try to word things in a way that will be appropriate for younger readers. It's just the way I'm wired, I guess. This is not to say I won't sometimes have stories that will be completely inappropriate for younger readers, but if you need to write that way in order to tell a story, you're probably not writing a very interesting story. Yeah, shock value is the excuse that bad writers use. It's got to be shocking and what? Okay, so you just suck. So many people use shock and disgust. Hey, I didn't even know I was going to say that as a crutch for the lack of imagination and creativity. Chatsu, I got there with you, Chatsu. We did it at like the same time, but like days apart from each other. It was awesome. There's nothing inherently wrong with those things, but it can easily lead you down a path of pandering. See mainstream entertainment. It's also possible to go dark with your stories while still keeping them accessible to young readers. Heck, kids love that stuff as long as the morals are correct and you're not painting objectively good actions as bad or vice versa. You can word things in such a way that keeps it clean while also keeping it interesting and compelling for older audiences. I feel like finding that balance is the key to creating something that will truly grab people. Now I just need to find out how to grab them to read my stuff in the first place. So one of the things that I was reminded of is the original Avatar: The Last Airbender. There were adults, like, because that was a my generation thing, right? And even so much, it kind of finished up and wrapped up when I was going through high school. But I knew adults that were in their 30s and 40s that were like, I love that show. And I'm like, what? They're like, I don't usually watch cartoons, but I saw my kid watching it one day, and they're like, and I saw an episode, and I was like, what is this? They're like, watched the whole thing, right? Something that is told so compelling. I mean, my favorite character is Zuko, right? His whole story arc is incredible, right? The redemption story, oh my God. It had the redemption story. It had the coming of age story, right? For like a lot of those kids, like, God, the original Avatar: The Last Airbender holds up. It's amazing. Yeah, oh no, my kids still love it too. My kids love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's great. But no, they did. But again, they did that well. Maji Chan says, Royce's internal monologue. I would do a mic drop, but it's an expensive microphone. Yeah. I don't want to. This one up here that you guys can't see, it's out of the frame right now, but that's my room mic for when I do my videos. That one up there, I have dropped that one many times and it still works. That one you can mic drop because it's just a workhorse. Although I wouldn't do it intentionally. But yes, it has been dropped. A crazy ship on Warframe tells me quite frequently that which can be destroyed by the truth should be. Royce, you blew up an entire army. Well done. Well said. Wait, what? Warframe. I've never played Warframe. Drink Castus. It'll quench. I can't even read what you're saying, Redoubt Productions. All right. Devil's Air says, the reason why people, especially kids, are watching the amazing digital circus is because it's genuinely a good show with well animated. Also, now drink a White Claw, chug the beer like it's the last one you've ever had. No, I'm not going to drink White Claw. No, I don't want to do that. Call of the Road. The only AC I got into was Black Fad, but that was because of all the pirating. That is legit. When I talk with everybody, they're just like, yeah, pirates. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, that's it. I'm like, what was good about the game? They're like, pirates. I'm like, was the story? They're like, pirates. The writing, pirates. I'm like, I was like, the mechanics, and they're like, okay, the mechanics, they're okay, but pirates. I'm like, what the? Do you guys care about anything important? And that's my gamer buddies that are just like, yeah, no, the only reason that you play Black Flag is because pirates. They're like, so it's literally not an Assassin's Creed game. They're like, yeah, seriously, they didn't even need to make it Assassin's Creed, and it would have just sold. Fubar Digital Lounge, absolutely. Oh man. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is what it is. A drink with White Claw. No. Or we'll get the Guinness out. God, Guinness is so bad. Guinness is so bad. It's not as bad as IPAs. Oh. Oh. I can only speak about the... sorry. I got to get back in the frame of reading stuff. Oh, God. Okay. I can only speak about the programs from the turn of the millennium. But while many had a lasting impact because it was family entertainment. There was a grave misconception family entertainment equals immature entertainment. If something is for the family, it means everyone can watch it and be invested. There will likely be layers of storytelling the younger generation of family won't pick up on, but the older generation will. This allows for the younger generation to mature and find new meaning out of the same story. Given said story a long-lasting impact, ironically, by mainstream media trying to push what they perceive as mature stories, said stories come across as immature. That's what the internet labels. That's why the internet labels copium. Oh, hey, that's a great way to say. Wait, let me read that again. That I like. Ironically, by mainstream media trying to push what they perceive as mature stories, said stories come across as immature. That's why the internet labels it copium. I like that. That is a great way to say that, Fubar. Okay. That the mainstream media are seemingly addicted to. They get increasingly immature with each new story they publish. The potential audience grows more alienated. Well, yeah, because again, it's for because they're trying to write stories specifically for the like 23 to like 28-year-old crowd. And like what they feel they need. Remember when stories used to be written by like 50 and 60-year-olds? Like dudes who actually had some fucking life experience. Remember that shit? No, now everything's being written by 22-year-olds that have never had any life experience ever, right? None. They went to school. Now they're in this job and all they've never felt, I don't think they've ever felt their heart beat. So yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we're seeing here. And then the mainstream storyteller inhales that copium, which manifests as berating the audience for being immature and not the mainstream storytellers themselves. I like this comment. That was really good. Well, yeah, because, but it's not. No, you're right, Andrew Rowland. It's not those things. Mature is not those things, but again, people with no experience go, well, this is obviously mature, right? Whereas what most of us would know as mature writing are, actions and consequences, okay? Sometimes even complicated actions and complicated consequences, right? Like just, things like that. Lessons learned, okay? using past experiences to build upon new experiences and move forward. Like, that's what mature storytelling is, right? It is the story of life. That rings true through everything, right? Like, one of my favorite shows when I was a kid was Home Improvement. I watched every single episode of Home Improvement that I could because I loved it. I thought the kids were cool, but I also thought it was really cool to see Tim Allen in that show, playing Tim the Toolman Taylor, obviously, and kind of learning how to be a better husband and a better father. And I oftentimes look back at that show and I think a lot to myself. I'm like, man, I have actually lived a really good portion of that and those lessons in my own personal life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what the maturity of that show was. It was lessons learned. Right? Yeah, his real name's not actually Tim Allen. That blew my brain one day. But if you know the story of Tim Allen, like that, oh, dude, it's so cool. Like, yeah. Anyway, okay, sorry, I got a little excited there. All right, Redoubt Productions. Amazing Digital Circus's success comes down to a universal thread binding younger generations at the moment, existential dread. Binding to a universal thread, binding younger generations. Yeah. I say what you're saying there. Okay. For as easy as it is to criticize the quirks of the younger generations, it's also important to understand that we children growing up into adults in a hopeless world want a job. You need a degree. Get that degree. Oops, you can't get a job you pursued for so long, and now you're in debt. Want to live peacefully. That's great. I want to live peacefully. That's great. But you must also hate this group of people because we told you to get ready for war with this group of people because people you have no connection to, but we must fight them because democracy. So the question is, how does one continue going forth when we're aware everything is make-believe and all our efforts to break out are meaningless? And a lot of people are feeling like this. A lot of people are feeling this, okay? And this may not be why Pomni is my spirit animal for this summer, as certain country hurdles towards an election that has the potential of tearing the fabric of said country asunder like it's 1860. Because, for democracy, of course. Damn, that Helldivers 2 video is living rent-free in my brain still. Was that good? Did you guys like that video? Like, it really didn't get a lot of viewership, but I think that's because I screwed up. But, no, I think you're right. And again, you've got to think about how those shows talked to you when you were kids, right? And for people with the Amazing Digital Circus, like, there's a lot of people, like, my kids don't necessarily feel that way, which I think is good. Some days they do, though. Some days my kids just, like my son, he's surrounded by women all day, right? Yeah. And, and sometimes he gets a little frustrated. But now he's got some boys to go play some basketball with at the court. He comes out with me and does a little bit of welding here and there when I got to get more metal because I'm kind of at a standstill. But yeah, it's, but you got to understand, children need to be heard out too, right? They do. They do have ideas in shit like that, right? And the problem is we have a school system that literally tells them to sit down, shut up, don't speak. And they're losing their fucking minds. They're like, but I'm a person, right? And the school system's like, no, you're not. You're what we tell you you are. And it's getting worse. It's getting much worse. Like, certain violent crimes in and around the educational system, I will say that, are getting worse. And people point at some of the tools being used, but they don't point at the problem, which is a system that looks at them and they say, you're not people, okay? You are just what we tell you you are. And these people are trying to scream out. Everybody makes fun of the generation with the green hair and the piercings and calling them the Zers and the they-thems. But you know what? They wouldn't have to fucking do that. They wouldn't have to abandon the traditional values. They wouldn't have to abandon being male or female, in favor of this other crap. But they're trying to get seen. And all that happens is the public school system turns around and then they validate this horse crap, right? which makes them even less seen because they, oh yeah, well, I'll respect this, but you're just gonna be what I tell you to be. And then the rest of us mock them for doing what? For crying out in the darkness. Please, for the love of God, somebody listen. And if somebody just listens to them. I remember I had people when I was a kid that just listened and took the time. It's actually my older brother, right? My older brother. Actually, go check him out, ivoryholsters.com. If you guys are, I'll give a free shout out to my brother. If you guys need concealed carry or pack carry for hunting or anything like that for pistols, ivoryholsters.com. But my older brother did it, man, when I was frustrated. My sister-in-law did it, right? Because they were all so much older than me. And by the time I got into my teenage years and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why do mom and dad not? And they're like, we get it. Like, we totally get it. We know exactly. Because they were still kind of young enough. They were still in their early 20s. So they still remembered what that teenage, like, was like, right? Dude, I could have been a totally different fucking person had I not had somebody to just sit there and hear me out once in a while. You know? Call my brother and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is up with dad today? Like, do they not? And they're like, dude, we felt the same way. And I'm like, we get it. And they're like, yeah, you're right. You know? Yeah. To have somebody to listen to them. Just listen. Right? When my kids get aggravated and frustrated, my wife is great at helping with that. And sometimes, you know, hey, I need you to go have a conversation with them. I need you to talk to them as dad. All right. And I've had to learn how to be better, how to listen to what they're telling me and not just react as a father. That doesn't mean that I'm not, you know, that I don't have to lay down the law when I need to. But unjust punishment is never the right answer. And that's what we have done to generations of children. And we're seeing it. It's bubbling up. It's breaking. They're snapping. Don't give up on them. Don't give up on my kids. They're going to be here after we're gone. We've got to let them know that they're seen. We've got to let them know that somebody is listening. That some of us just so happen to remember when we were teenagers and when we were frustrated with the world, right? And when we had things that we were excited about that nobody gave a shit about. Just let them know that. We've got to try. Might be doom and gloom for our generation, but you know what? We're all adults. We'll bully our way through this. We'll make it through. We've seen some shit. Some of us have seen more shit than others. But you know what? We could turn it around for the next generation, right? We could. We could help them. We could guide them. Don't give up. That being said, guys, we've gone through all of the comments today. I do want to shout out really quickly and say thank you to everybody who's using the direct donation link. It's super awesome to see that. You guys, like I said, I don't ask you guys to ever send more super chats than you always have. Just send the super chats through different means. It's freaking awesome that you guys are doing that. Thank you. I do also need to shout this out again. Please click that link. Click that link in my link tree where you guys can subscribe and get updates for all of my videos and stuff, because that's another way that I can do that. But click that link and go there and do me a favor and purchase this I Support Indie Creators shirts, right? Wear this out in public and start that conversation. The I Support Indie Creators. I want to turn this into a movement. I want more people out there in the world wearing this, talking about the stories that we love. So with all of that being said, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to the ridiculous rants that I have. And at the end of the day, until next time. Redoubt Productions need more breaking shelves. Heavily Music. Have a good man. Have a good one, man. God bless, man. God bless. Tim Allen. To make folks think. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. I try. I try. God bless. Hail the Lord. Have a good one. Redoubt Productions. It's green screen. The shelf is a lie. Well, yeah, now it is, but it didn't used to be. There's a reason it's a green screen now. Because at one point in time, the shelf didn't lie. I salute you, sir. Now drink your White Claw. I'm not drinking White Claw. Have a good one, Creative Welshman. Godspeed, Call of the Road. Bye, Allison Wade. Thank you for being here. Piano Music. Thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate you. Nikolai Paulwell. Have a good one, man. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. I do appreciate it. I'm waiting to see the pictures of the I Support Indie Creators shirt out in a while. My wife and I are going to pick some up, but like I said, Bill's first, then we'll be getting that shirt. Later, everyone. Take care. God bless. Have a good one, Gorilla Mar. Thank you, man. God bless. Have a good day, Maji-chan. I hope you start feeling better, Maji-chan. All right, everybody, I will be dropping a new video this week. Thank you all so much for being here. Cheers, everybody.